Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about knife throwing. Okay, so I got a lot of questions about knife throwing, and I decided I really want to make this video. But in order to make this video, I really want to talk about a few things that are well, these are my my thoughts and my tips out of my experience when it comes to knife throwing. Knife throwing is first of all a challenge. It's a personal challenge. You practice, you enjoy, you improve, you evolve, and it takes hours of practice, but it's also a lot of fun. And some people see it as a sport, some people see it as a, you know, just a hobby, and some people see it as a self-defense tool. If you're one of those guys, it doesn't matter, because eventually what you'll need to do is take hold of a knife and throw it away from you in such a way that it will get to the target with its point and will stick, of course. Now, there are pretty much a couple of, well, two actually, ways of throwing knives that I know of. One is what you'd call a straight toss, which is you throw your knife, and you flick your wrist, and your knife will fly the whole way like so and get to its target. It will not change an angle during flight, and people that master this kind of throw can throw really far. I mean, really, they can reach even 20 meters by throwing it. The other way of throwing is holding the knife by its blade, and then what you do a half spin, which means that your knife will start over here, will get tossed, and will half spin until reaching its target. That's the way I throw my knife. What is unique with this throw is that you can fine-tune the how fast your knife will rotate. So basically, if your target is very close to you, then you'll spin it fast. But if your target is further away from you, you'll make sure your knife spins slowly. So this is pretty much it. There's not much to it. However, if you wanna throw knives for self-defense, then you need to take something into consideration, and this is the what would be translated in English as panic effect, or adrenaline rush, or fear, whatever. Because when I practice my knife a lot, I can get myself to stick my knife into my target 10 out of 9. Sorry, that would be great, 10 out of 9. It would be 9 times out of 10, which means 90% success. And this is when I practice almost every day throwing my knife, so once I get warmed up, I'll get a 9 out of 10 for a few times. And 90% is great. I mean, if you would give me a certificate that says, my dear friend, every time you throw your knife, it will be a chance of 9 out of 10. I'd throw my knife in a combat or self-defense situation almost immediately. However, when you have, adrenaline rush and panic effect and fear and anxiety that involves into the situation, because self-defense situation is not, like, okay, I'm tuned up, let's throw my knife. You'd be on the move, you'd be moving, you'd be hurt, wounded, maybe you'll be disorientated, so you can drop it. If you got a 90% chance, you can drop it immediately to 60 and even 40, depending on your ability to control the situation. So 40% throwing a knife, and if it's your only knife, forget about it. You're not going to throw your knife. It would be stupidity, because then you will be losing the only weapon you probably have. Because if you got to the point when you have to throw a knife, then you're pretty fucked. Pardon my French. Because if you had a gun, you'd use your gun. If you had a machine gun, you'd use a machine gun. You know, if you had a teaser, you'd use that. Spray, self-defense, whatever. If you need to throw your knife, then you better make it count. So this is about the self-defense throwing. Now, people that want to start throwing knives, I really don't recommend, you know, don't. I mean, this is a SOG Agent. It's a $120 knife when I bought it. There are a lot of great knives out there that you can use to throw knives, but don't use an expensive knife. Use a cheap knife. I'll even show you a better way to use to start practicing without a knife. Yeah, without a knife. So the thing is, don't start throwing your good knife away, because you will chip it, you'll break it. You know, the handle will fall apart eventually. Because if you know nothing about knives, you're gonna have to throw 10,000 times in order to even understand where you are. In terms of how good you are. So don't use an expensive knife. Now, in the half spin turn, you can throw any knife. I mean, really, any knife that has a tip. Okay, don't bring this square butcher's knife. No, even though you can throw it, but you'll throw it more like an axe. Any knife that has a tip. It can be a kitchen knife, it can be a Mora knife, it can be a Scandinavian knife, bushcraft knife, survival knife. It can be even a bread knife if you give it a tip. I'll even show you how to throw a tent peg, okay, with the half turn spin, just little pointed at the end. So you can throw anything. This is a knife I used to practice for a while, a lot. It was just a cheap ass steak knife. With a broken handle. I'm throwing it with a broken handle, okay? So use just a screwed up knife, or just a knife that is expendable to you. But I have a better idea. When I was in the army, I had a small office that I used to come back to every time we didn't have activity outdoor. And I had a big wooden board there, and of course immediately I took my pocket knife, started throwing, and of course after a while my pocket knife broke. And then one day I found a screwdriver, and I started practicing with screwdriver, and I found that they are amazing weapons to throw. They are expendable, they are cheap, and they will not break on you. I mean, really, there is nothing you can do to a flathead screwdriver sticking on a board or falling on the ground that will break your screwdriver. And this is what I threw at the beginning of the video. Now, some screwdrivers have a flat, you know. These are great. The screwdrivers with the pointy tip, they are awesome, but sometimes they tend to have a really big handle. So this is something you need to take into consideration. There are also Phillips screwdrivers that I will try and show you how to throw. The thing here is that you can see that balance-wise these are really pretty much the same weight, length, and the Phillips is the big one. So it will probably throw me off to a point where I'll start missing. But it's okay, you know, I'm gonna miss a lot today, I promise you. Now, what you need to understand is that you always have to think about the weight, okay? If you have a very heavy handle, your knife will have a tendency to spin faster. Over here, I barely have any weight at the back of the tent peg. I will have to help it a lot by making sure my finger gives it the extra push. So the weight is very, very important. It would be very different to throw this knife and this knife. Okay, this has a lot of, this is a field hammer pommel, you know. This will really be hard to throw. And of course, if you're talking about crazy knives, you know, like the BK2, well, this you don't even have to make sure it stick with the point. If you throw it at someone, he'll fall just by the weight of it. So you have to think about all those things. Even just a tiny little pocket knife, you can throw it, no problem, you know. I throw my Opinel a lot, just for fun. I don't use a lot of force, but you can throw them. So let me reset the camera and try to show you some throws, and hopefully you'll learn something from it. Let's try to put you over here and see if it goes okay. Alright, so let's make some, you know, just some easy-going throws. I don't want to use a lot of force. I just want to show you the concept behind it. Do you use gloves? I say no, don't use gloves. Even better, don't wear shoes. I'm not wearing any shoes. And there's a reason. Well, this goes to the people that want to use it for self-defense. Knives can bounce back, okay? You need to be on your toes. You need to be very tuned that when your knife bounces back, you know where to move from your knife. Wearing shoes is probably a better idea in case your knife really hits you, but it will take your guards off, okay? People that don't wear shoes, they look at the ground all the time. They are more aware to their environment, and their senses are sharpened more than somebody with shoes. So you know, don't hurt yourself. But I'm not wearing any shoes. As for gloves, yeah, sure, gloves will make sure you don't cut yourself. But if you want to start throw any knife, any knife that you put your hand on, you need to know that this knife is sharp. And if you wear gloves, also, again, your senses, you wouldn't have this little click in your head that will say sharp, sharp. I'm throwing a knife, it's sharp, you know. So always make sure that you know it's sharp. You will see that this knife is sharp. My SOG knife is sharp. My Opinel knife is razor sharp. I'm holding them in a way that I wouldn't hurt myself. Okay, so this is a Geissler knife. It's really good for throwing. And you see from here to there, it's a half spin. When I'm tuned with this knife, I can have 90% success. And of course, you can extend your distance a little bit. Now, if you see your knife with an angle like so, it means that it didn't have it actually almost, well, let's say like this. Your knife went like so, okay? It should have got stuck like this, straight. But you overspinned it. So it means that if you see your knife sticking like so, it means you overspinned it. If you see your knife sticking like so, it means it didn't have the time to complete its full turn, and you adjust. Okay, this is a good throw. Just a tiny little pocket knife, you know. It doesn't even have a lock blade. I mean, it has a different weight, and of course the distance will have to be different, but it will stick, and so will the Opinel. Okay. As for the SOG agent, in order to throw it from this distance, I will have to spin it very fast, and that's why I'm going to take, you know, I'm over here. I'm going to take a bit of a step back and get it in there. So you see that these knives, they can all work. Oh, I promised I'll show you with the tent peg. So it's just a tent peg, okay? I'm not sure it will even work, but all right. I don't know if you can see that. Let's bring you closer. As you can see, it's just a tent peg. I mean, grab a hold of a few tent peg and just start working your magic there. So all right, now for the screwdrivers, let me take off the knives here. I don't want them falling on me or cutting me. Keep this baby on me. Okay, so screwdrivers. Use them. Use them. They're awesome. Just get me out of the picture. Okay, this is the big one, the Phillips. This is the pointy one. This is the flat. And another flat. I think you can see that probably. If you manage to throw screwdrivers, it's a pretty decent, you know, same place, all of them. If you manage to throw your screwdrivers, then this is an optional weapon, because you will keep your knife, you know, you'll keep your main blade on you, and you can throw in your bug out bag, or you know, in your bug out vest or whatever it is you got. Throw in a couple of screwdrivers, and these, all four of those, they weigh like the SOG, and they weigh much less than the BK. So, and you wouldn't mind throwing them, and you can find them in hardware stores everywhere. You know, this is not a good distance. So yeah, this is pretty much what I have to say about knife throwing. I really hope you like it, and I'd be very happy to see your comments below. Sorry for the long video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. So yeah guys, take care and have a great weekend and keep safe. See you guys.